My guide, it was his death by violence, for which he is still not avenged, I said, by anyone who shares his shame, that made him so disdainful now. And, I suppose, for this he left without a word to me, and this has made me pity him the more. The 29th canto picks up as Dante is about to leave the ninth pouch of the eighth circle of hell. This section of hell includes the sowers of scandal and schism. Dante is reluctant to leave at first because he meant to speak with Jerry del Bello, one of Dante's ancestors. Jerry had been murdered, but never avenged, a shame that Dante shares with his relative. This passage sheds a little light on Dante's authorial perspective on vengeance. The contradiction here is that while Dante, as an author, placed those violent against others in the seventh circle of hell, clearly condemning violence, here he notes the shame in not avenging a murdered relative. This contradiction is an example of how flawed the character Dante is. As he traverses hell, he is sometimes tempted by the sins of others as he is reminded of them. Richard J. Quinones writes in his book Dante that the visit to the underworld seems to say that ascent first requires descent, a deeper understanding of the possibilities of degradation and demeaned actuality before consciousness can be converted to conviction. Dante first ascends into hell and is shown the sinners of all mankind. He becomes more and more flawed as he goes, often stopping to weep or in this case be tempted to sin himself. The quote I just read indicates one of Dante's overlying messages to his readers, that ascent first requires descent. In other words, Dante must experience suffering and moral imperfection before rising up again as a wiser and righteous man. This is an artist's rendition of Virgil leading Dante down into the 10th pouch of the 8th circle of hell. As you can see, they are witnessing the eternal punishment of the damned falsifiers. And then my sight could see more vividly into the bottom, where unerring justice, the minister of the high Lord, punishes the falsifiers she had registered. This second passage occurs later in the 29th canto, and obviously speaks of Virgil leading Dante another step deeper into hell, down into the 10th and lowest pouch of the 8th circle. This next area deals with impersonators, who fit into the 8th circle's theme of falsifiers, as an impersonator would be someone who falsifies his or her identity, job, money, or words. The rest of the 29th and the 30th cantos deal exclusively with this level of hell. In this level, contrapasso punishment is applied often, for example in the case of Grifolino di Arezzo. He is completely covered in scabs. He explains to Dante that, quote, he was executed not as a result of his unlawful activity, but because of ill-advised joking or bravado. End quote. In life, Arezzo promised a friend of his that he could teach him to fly like Daedalus, a mythological Greek character who flew on wings of his own invention. His scabs are hell's equivalent to the falsifying sin such an impersonator committed, i.e., a lie. The tormented sinner is forever itching these scabs away, but being an eternal punishment, they just come right back. The contrapasso punishment of this example is that because he lied, he essentially put on a disguise of mistrust in his friend. Such a disguise would be like the scabs that he's constantly trying to itch off, but never can. Another sinner that Dante meets is named Master Adam, who falsified coins in his life. Because of this, he is tormented by a terrible thirst. This thirst personifies the greed that led Master Adam to counterfeit in the first place. So, to sum up, in the 9th pouch of the 8th circle, Dante confronts an unavenged relative named Jerry del Bello. We also learn, perhaps most importantly, that Dante is a flawed character, on his way to becoming righteous. He is doing this by going through a painful experience in his life. He is seeing the suffering of the damned in hell, and he is learning from it. He is overcoming it. He will rise up again later as a more righteous person, a wiser person, because of it. Next, we see examples of the contrapasso style punishment in Grifolino di Arezzo, a liar cursed with scabs, and Master Adam, a counterfeit plagued by thirst. Thank you.